Well, good morning. Happy Tuesday. A little bit rushed off my feet this morning. I had to do the school run, so I had my little boy in tow, and the pressures of knowing that I had to live stream and be back home by 9 and preparing content in the early hours and stuff. Yeah, it puts the pressure on when you know you've got to get there and present yourself at 9. But here we go. So welcome to this LinkedIn lead generation masterclass. Today we're actually on session 3. We're going to explore how to start connecting with those prospects on LinkedIn. Obviously, you can apply the principles that I'm going to teach you today to any other social networking platform. It could be Facebook or Instagram or other channels where you're connecting with prospects on a direct message or a DM basis. So I've got basically a few templates to share with you. Some of these templates I've used myself, and they've been very successful, and they've achieved some really good results. We're going to look at OpenAI ChatGPT today, because using AI technologies to kind of generate some of this stuff on autopilot is a fantastic way of personalizing the outreach. So I'm going to show you some of my little hacks, some of the tools that I'm using to do that really effectively. So firstly, I'm going to just share my screen just to show you some templates and some diagrams, just to put everything into context. Bear with me as I prep this material and get it ready for you. It all sits on a Google Drive folder. So here we go, marketing, share screen, basic. And of course, if there's any questions or anything, I'm going to try and hop onto the actual stream page on a couple of the channels just to see if there's any feedback from you guys as well, because it's great to have it more interactive. The actual way of doing this is to log on leadith.io/masterclass. That will then take you to a registration page where you can actually join me live on these meetings through the Zoom platform. It's a bit more interactive when there's more people involved in it. So I've produced a couple of explaining graphics. First thing is what we've got is this roadmap. I'm just going to open this one here. Hopefully you can see this. Oh, it doesn't want to open, typical. Let's open the old version. So this just puts everything into perspective, into context. My business, Leadith, we're actually a lead generation service. It's moving into more of a consultancy role where I help and support small business owners to get more leads through tools like LinkedIn and marketing automation tools in general. So the first thing that we need to do is target the audience and identify who that audience is. So we do a bit of work with you and look at, and we've got a database of 700 million profiles which we can tap into, and we can actually access verified work emails, personal emails on their LinkedIn profiles as well. And then we've got enriched data, which we'll come to later on in the course, and that's how we can contact people. Having a LinkedIn profile against that person is really helpful, because then that helps us to build out conversations, and that's what we're looking at in a bit more detail today, is how we actually do that. Last week, we looked at priming your personal LinkedIn profile. So there was a bit of information about how to kind of sell yourself a bit better. We looked at the professional headshot photos and techniques and systems that you can use to implement them. If you've not seen that session, it's widely available on YouTube and also through the website and the masterclass. If you go to the very bottom, you can actually watch a replay of those sessions as well, just to catch up. So this week, we're looking at this third step. This is the LinkedIn outreach automation. So I'll actually show you the tool that I use personally, how we do it, and some of the other tools I've used in the past that are really effective even now, using AI to really create some really personalized content to get that prospect to reach back out to you and connect with you. The fourth step in the Leadith roadmap is this email outreach. So LinkedIn messaging is great, but not everyone responds, sadly. A lot of people hate it because it's just full of spam and emails and things like that, and they just, they can sniff it a mile off that someone's trying to sell them something. I always like to see it as relationship building. So building relationships with other people, not going for the sale necessarily, trying to add value, trying to add content and help people, genuinely help people on their journeys in business, so they can, win more sales and get more time on their hands. That's what we all want. So email outreach really complements this. So if you've connected with someone on LinkedIn, setting up a sequence of emails that follow succinctly after each other and at the right times will really help, just as another touch points with your prospect. And then we're going to do a bit of work around video content marketing. So that's looking at how you can present yourself as the authority in your industry, the market leader, the go-to, and basically set yourself apart. I'll help you with some tips on producing that video content, and it's going to be 1 to 2 minute videos, which we edit for you. That's part of the service. And then you can put them out on social media and see what sorts of engagement you're getting from them. And then once you've got that engagement, there's a natural flow there to create a campaign. We'll look at this today again, where we can basically scrape off or look at all the people that have engaged with that content and start to treat them as a lead and push them through the lead funnel or the sales process, whatever that might look like for you. The 6th step in the LinkedIn lead generation toolkit here is appointment setting, and setting those appointments in an efficient way. We don't want to create any friction when we're talking to leads. We want to make it as easy as possible for them to get some time with them, to get them into a meeting. So tools like Calendly are fantastic for kind of building that out. And I'm a big advocate of Calendly. It's got some amazing automation features. It doesn't cost a huge amount as well, so it's very affordable. And then the email and SMS reminders can further supplement, it can prep your prospect for that meeting. So it can, you can put out a video sales letter and things like that, which are really going to help. So that's the roadmap. And we've also got a couple of methodologies that we look at. So we've got a funnel methodology. So obviously, for your business and your brand, you need to be creating a bit of awareness. So people need to know about you. That's the most kind of essential thing in this sales and marketing funnel. If people don't know about you, they're not going to spend any money with you. So it's important to get yourself out there. And things like we looked at last week, how to kind of put yourself out there a bit more and create a profile that's going to be very appealing. That's going to generate that interest, and people are going to come down to that next level and think, yeah, actually, I like what this guy's on about. How do we take it to the next step and consider, his offering or their offering or product or service, whatever that might be. As we go down that funnel, we can see we're in the consider stage, and that's very much what we look at, like testimonials and things like that. That's going to help people in their purchase making decision. So if you haven't already collected testimonials from previous clients on LinkedIn and stuff like that, that's vital, because that is just going to set you up for some quick wins. That consider stage. Often we think about the website, your company website being part of that consider stage, where they can see a lot more information, hear about you, watch a video, and then that drops them down into the purchase stage, which is all about, the convert stage, contracts, and, you've got to retain the clients and look after them. And even, even when they leave you, you need to delight them even when you leave. You don't want to kind of customers to disappear from you all disgruntled. So it's important that you retain the clients. So that's the methodology funnel that I work from. And then I've also got this flywheel funnel. It's not going to open, this one here. Oh, it's not going to open. Let's try that one then. There we go. So a very similar model, but it just shows how, you attract the clients, we're engaging with them, we're delighting them, and then they become advocates. And that advocate, and they're shouting about our products and services, that is going to in itself attract more clients. So that's the flywheel effect in process. Hopefully all that makes sense to you. So when we talk about LinkedIn, we've done quite a few sessions on actually how to find them. So the first session we did was how to find prospects on LinkedIn. There was 4 techniques, a second degree campaign. So obviously LinkedIn is a huge database of profiles of people. And the best thing we can do is tap into that using what we call Sales Navigator. Now, Sales Navigator Premium is kind of like the gold standard. It allows you to do a lot more searches with a lot more detail. So recently I've just done a quick search here, director owner or founder or CEO, not thingy. Okay, so I've searched for all the top level job titles that I want to be connected with. We can go to people. And within that, so basically I'm teaching you how to do it manually here. We go to second degree connections, because they're kind of like, we've got mutual connections between these guys here. So it's it's a much easier way and safer way at connecting to people. I've got 1 million results come up. So I'm going to be a bit more specific. Let's just put local to me, Dorchester. Here we go. And we've got some Dorchester folk coming up there, 600 and almost 700 results, which is a fair level of prospects. So the manual process to connect to these prospects would be to click that connect button and add a customized note. And this is where you kind of, your brain goes dead. What on earth am I going to write to that person? So the initial connection here, we've got a limitation of 300 characters. So we need to be quite choosy. I tend to say, you know, ideally you're looking at 15 to 50 words, ideally, no more than that. People will turn off. What I've created here is as a list of templates that I've previously used. So I'm just going to share some of these templates with you. The first template that is what we call the things in common template. So as I say, we appeal to those second degree connections. These templates work very effectively. So this one here, obviously all the data tags are in blue. If you've got LinkedIn automation software, this is where you can kind of pull off their first name automatically and fire these out on autopilot. And I'll show you how that's working on some of my own campaigns in a moment. So here we go. I came across your profile and was very interested in your experience. And then you could say as a founder in whatever industry they were in. So that's quite personalized, works quite well. And then we've got another question here. How about we get in touch? So asking a question encourages people to respond back, which is good. So I always try to do that at least on the second message, but certainly all the other messages after the connection message would be put a question out there. How are we going to what's the next step with this client? Share a lot of content relating to them, whatever that might be. I think that you might find useful. So that template works really effectively. Things in common. We've got another one here. I've used this one quite a few times. I noticed we shared a few connections. It would be great to connect, and then that encourages them to look at your profile, see exactly who you share and stuff like that. Occasionally you'll get 1 or 2 people come back to you saying, how do you know that person? Which is quite funny, because often you have to go back and say, oh, actually, I don't know them that well, and we've connected on LinkedIn, blah, 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 blah. This third one, hi, first name. I've had a quick look at your profile, was very impressed with what you guys are doing over at company name. Let's connect. So you can actually start to try lots of different ones. So if you're aiming to push out, 20 of these every day or so, you can mix it up, try copy and paste and just paste in the first name, and you're away. Now, there's some really good tools that can automate that to, semi-automate it for you. So you haven't got to type their name in. I use a tool called Magical. Magical is really good. It's a plugin. It's a Chrome extension plugin. Basically, you do // and then that's the trigger to then type in first name, and their first name will populate. You just click on their first name, and then it will come up with the next one. And you can set up these as presets, so it just copies and pastes them in really quickly. So check that out, Magical. If you've got a manual process of doing this and you're not using automation yet, it's a good way to test if automation is right for you. You kind of do it all manually, and then finally you can do it on autopilot once you're seeing the results, or just dive straight in there on the autopilot, because LinkedIn is B2B and it does work. Even if you've not tested it, almost you can rattle up an automation campaign, is what I find, and it just works brilliantly. So another template that you might like to try is the flatter their ego template. So this is where you would say, hi, first name, I saw that you're take their position in their company, looking to connect with people like you, professionals like you, so as to better understand the challenges in your field. So a great reason to connect, you put yourself out there. We've got this campaign here next, which is the fishing for information template. Hi, first name, thanks for the connection. I've got a question for you, if you don't mind. Where do you find most of your customers at, whatever it is? So think about what kind of questions you might be asking, what's going to lead towards a better discussion, or potentially a drop of information or a lead magnet for them. What sort of questions would that look like? So don't be shy. They're a bit more forward. So this is what I call the win and lose template next. The win and lose template is very much, try it and see what you get, really. But basically, it's pretty direct. I saw that you were in the middle of developing your network on LinkedIn. At your business, we develop tools that can help your company name. So we populate it with their company name, generate more leads, especially through the automation of your actions on LinkedIn. So that's very much personalized to kind of my use case. Would you like to know more? It's short, it's to the point. Often you'll get people that just say not interested, and the conversation will end there. Or you'll get people that will just say, yeah, let's tell me a bit more information. So that's a little bit of more of a direct one. And certainly on the connection message, I wouldn't put that in on a connection message. I would save that for kind of message 2 or 3 once you've kind of built up a bit of rapport with them. So we need to kind of get to know them a bit more before we go in with something like that. Expressing admiration for their work. I mean, these templates are a little bit more salesy, and this first one needs a little more personalization. But the idea is we populate this here with your name. So we introduce ourselves. And I don't, when I'm doing LinkedIn campaigns, I try not, the focus is always going to be on them, their business, their problems, never on us. But this is a template that can work. My name's Alex. I'm whatever it is, position at this company or that company. I came across your post about whatever it was, the subject that they posted about, and I just had to get in touch with you. You seem exactly like the type of person that I want to interact with on LinkedIn. I admire the work of whatever it is that the company is, and put the reason of why you admire that bit of work. What I found is obviously to automate this, you need a few more of these placeholders, or whatever you want to call them, these fields, data fields, or tags. So you've got to do a bit more legwork if you want to do 20 of these on autopilot. You've got to do a bit of legwork of getting this information out of their profile. If you're using automation, you can strip it down a little bit. So, hi, Alex, founder of Leadith. You seem to be exactly the type of person I want to interact with on LinkedIn. Admire the work you do at whatever it is. I myself am fascinated with marketing industry, or whatever industry they're in. Always looking for solutions with a little emoji. So emojis can work. They can appeal to the younger generation. Certainly the shorter, more humorous messages are going to have that more appeal. If you're targeting, some old school CEOs or directors, you might have to adjust your language appropriately to that audience. I actually have something that I could think you could benefit from. So this one's kind of coming out with a statement, just leave them hanging a bit and get them to connect with you. Some people use LinkedIn now for finding mutual benefits, like building partnerships. We often call them strategic partners. So people who are likely to refer into you, or build out these partnerships where you can work really well with another company and share leads and share prospects and customers potentially. So this one here, hello first name, or hi first name. I'm Alex, founder in the digital marketing field. So I've not named the company. People probably don't know the company anyway, because we're only a small one-man band, so they're not going to know about it. So, if you include the industry, that might resonate with them a little bit more. It might encourage them to go to your profile and do a bit more research. I see that your position in company, and I'm also interested in what the company is and their impact on specific topics. So this is where we'd have to get our own specific data tag and decide what that would be. I think we could connect on LinkedIn. Okay, happy to follow company names, activities, as well as your posts on the topic. I hope you have a great week. So it's pretty friendly, and we're not going for a sale on that one. And then we've got another one here, which is hi first name. It seems like we both like whatever the industry is. I meet weekly with successful people in whatever it is the industry might be, to talk about whatever that topic might be and how we find leads. So it's going to be whatever it is for your use case. Are you interested in discussing how we can help each other? I look forward to meeting you soon. So a bit more direct. The other option is what we call backlink building. So backlink building is all about websites and SEO. If you have a link to one of their posts on your website, that's going to improve your Google rankings, having more backlinks. And likewise, if they reciprocate, it's going to help them out. So a backlink building campaign on LinkedIn can be quite effective. It's not about building the sales, but it's about increasing that awareness section right at the top of the funnel and getting your brand out there a bit more and getting more traffic to your website, so you can then convert and have meetings. So this particular message template, hi first name, name's Alex, just came across your resource page for whatever it is. So this is where we say, came across your blog page for my target audience. So you can insert a link to it, and that's even better because it takes them straight to their own link, and it brings up a preview, and they obviously see that preview in LinkedIn and think, well, this guy's obviously had time to look at my website and do a bit of research here, which is fantastic. Can take time, but it can pay off in dividends. I work with the company which offers whatever your company does, and I wrote an article that might be of interest to your readers, so how it could help their readers, and put a suggestion to that link. It could be a good addition to your page and provide a lot of value to your visitors. What do you think? Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. So we're not, it's just putting it out there. It's an opportunity to increase a backlink. The recruiter template. So often people post jobs on LinkedIn. So if you're a freelancer, it's, if an employment contract is not what someone's after, or they're not found the right sorts of people, they may actually consider a freelancer. If they can do the job and they can evidence that they can do it really well, this campaign might work really effectively for you if you're looking for new business. So once you've found the sort of whichever job it is, so it could be a marketing job, and then introduce yourself, noticed you saw the job posting, exactly what I love doing, which is what I'm very good at as my job title. Would love to know more information on the role. Probably it won't take long. Could we have a quick chinwag? So it's encouraging more people to get in touch with you. And then on the back of it, you can then push your services. Never forget about the job side and recruitment side. So there's a few templates. I'm going to make this document available after the live, and it's kind of a working document. So I add to it when I come across some really good ones that I think, yeah, that's worthy of a thing. But if you're kind of stuck and you're not sure what to say, it's a nice little go-to of proven effective templates. So I'm trying to build that out. Now, we're going to look at AI. So if you've been hiding under a rock for the last 6 months, you're probably not aware of what's going on. Artificial intelligence is absolutely taking over the world in huge storms. There's actually an open source, which is a free version, and there's a lot of paid versions, which are really pretty good, like Jasper. But you may have come across this one called OpenAI. OpenAI is a collaboration of different people, and they all freely give up their time to create the best machine learning, advanced artificial intelligence model in the world. And it's pretty clever, and people have actually generated some amazing things as a result of it. It's probably getting copywriters up in arms at the moment, but I'll show you how I've been utilizing the tool within my business development to do quite a few things. So in terms of prospecting on LinkedIn, it's a really good tool for that. Obviously, you can link to the tool, and a lot of third-party systems link to the tool as well. ChatGPT GPT is the name of the actual the chat bot, which does all the bits and pieces. If you go up to here, click try. It's absolutely free to try. You can log in with a Google Mail. Now, because it's in such high demand, often the servers are just like clogged up and you can't get in onto it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as a result of this live. It seems to have worked for me. It says they're experiencing high demand. Next, done. Right. So you come into ChatGPT. It looks a little bit like this, and you can then start a conversation. And they give you some ideas here. So the idea is we feed it a bit of information and it spits back on autopilot some crazy things. So if I was looking to my network here, so let's go back to this guy here, Chris Gold. And I just close off these messages. We've got Chris here. He's the executive director at Gold, so he's just happened to be the first one on my list. And we can copy the link to his profile URL, and we can actually go over to ChatGPT and say, please write me a icebreaker LinkedIn connection request for Darren. What was his name? Let's go back. Chris Gould. Sorry, not Darren. Chris Gould's. Chris Gould's at, and then you can actually paste his LinkedIn URL. Get rid of everything after the question mark. You don't need that. There we go. We can just spit that out, and then within 4 seconds, we've got a connection message that we can send him. It looks like a long one, but it's probably within the character ratio. So yeah, hi Chris, hope this message finds you well. I came across your profile on LinkedIn, was impressed by your experience and background in the industry. Would love to connect and possibly learn more about your experiences and insights in the field. Best, your name. So it's actually created us a pretty personalized link based on his name. So if we just try another one, just going down to find one with a company name, which kind of gives it a bit more information, possibly. Cuckooland.com, Nathalie Davis at cuckooland.com, whatever that is. Copy link address. So that copies the link to their profile address. We're going to go back into ChatGPT. Please write a icebreaker connection request message for LinkedIn. And we'll just delete everything after the question mark. So that's their LinkedIn user, Nathalie Davis. Okay, I wonder if it picks up her business. Often it does work quite well. Hope this message finds you well. Came across your profile on LinkedIn. Was impressed by your experience, background. I'd love to connect to you. So this one's basically done a very, very similar one. It's not really found much detail. So what we need to do is add the company name. So if we go back to the LinkedIn search, we can actually get Cuckooland here, and you can actually edit previous one, which is quite cool. For Nathalie Davis at cuckooland.com. Her profile is at, I'm not sure if it actually finds links or not, but I was playing around with it earlier and it worked quite effectively. It's coming up. Yeah, so it's obviously detected she's doing something with e-commerce, because it's now added the e-commerce element. So it's found that off her profile. So it would have probably taken me a few minutes to find that manually. And it's gone to learning more about your experience with Cuckooland and how you've been able to succeed in the online retail, drive success in the online retail space. We'd love to connect and possibly learn more about your insights. So there are some generic paragraphs that it likes to throw in, but it's very much governed by the information you're giving it. So obviously, if you give it a web address, it's personalizing pretty cool. Now, let's apply that into straight away what we're doing on LinkedIn. So if I was to actually go to her profile, I just want to show you this tool that I've been using here. Reload. Okay. So what this tool does basically is identifies all the prospects on a search page that you're currently on. So for example, I've got a few there. For the purpose of the demo, I'm just going to go into maybe one of these just to show you. But what it does is actually generates all this information for us. So the way it does it is we can actually select prospects and then choose show selected contacts. So for those 4 contacts that I've selected, I'm actually going out to the database and trying to find their personal information, so their email address. We're going to give it a few moments. Hopefully this will work. It worked on another search that I did a while back, but we're struggling. So I'm going to go back to my other search. Oops, let's go back to LinkedIn. Where are we? Bear with me, guys. I think I've accidentally closed it. Do you hate doing that? I love the Shift Command T option, open a closed tab by accident. There we go. So if we cut back into this, so my business coach, Richard Woods, we search for him in my network. So he's going to be a first degree connection. Sorry to pick on you, Richard, if you're watching this, but I'm sure you're far too busy to be watching my lives. Here we go. So Richard, we can reload the search. It says try navigating to a profile page. Okay, there we go. We've got an email address that's been connected. And the beauty of this one is we can actually click on email here. And what it does This is using AI, and it's actually generating a full email. So it's actually generated an appropriate subject line that it thinks will convert really well. And then it's generated an email. Hey, Richard, noticed you're working multiple responsibilities, MDS and WPA'd. How do you find the time? One's hard enough for me. Ha ha ha. Well, kudos to you. No one likes reading cold emails, so I'll make it quick. And then you've got your kind of two-line pitch. If you're looking for a social selling tool that can help you generate leads and connect with prospects via LinkedIn, Leadeth is the perfect solution. With Leadeth, you can create drip campaigns, send bulk messages, and track your progress with up-to-date metrics. So we've basically pulled out all of that data, which is really powerful. So we can regenerate it if it's not quite right as well, and it has another go. So with this tool, it basically spits it to a CSV file. And here's one I did earlier on. We've got company name has been pulled out, first name has been pulled out. There's an email there, and then there's an email address further on in this. But what's really good is all this extra data. So if they've got any awards, it'll actually put in their awards. So kudos on the award from the BIBAS award. I'm sure that's no small feat. Congratulations. So some of it's automated text, but a lot of it is pulling out that data. It's not really AI as such. It's just pulling data that it can find, doing it for you on autopilot. I guess you can call that AI. This column here, column L, is email icebreaker. So I love that your website promotes sustainable living. It's great to see companies like yours taking steps to make the world a better place. And this is all pretty much generated on websites. Again, we can go across and we've got the full email body. We've got the call to action, if there's one, what the subject line is, and there's a lot more information further on. There's a PS if appropriate. So you got PS, love the great recommendation from such and such, or PS, interesting move from such and such business to thingy. So based on all their LinkedIn profile and all that data, it's automatically generating us everything we need to kind of start a conversation with people. So the next step is, all we have to do now is, with this CSV file, is pump it into a tool that can interpret all of this AI information and start to build conversations out of it. And that's what I've done with my tool. So I'm just going to show you my tool here. So this is go.leadeth.io. Let's log in. And so within Leadeth, it's got parameters. It's connected to your personal LinkedIn profile. And quite simply, we set up lots of campaigns. And a campaign can be quite simple, or it can be quite complex. It's down to you. I'll show you two extremes. So here we go. A simple campaign. I call it a simple campaign. So this is just a connection message. So first we view their profile. We can also follow their profile, like at least 3 posts. And this is done automatically on autopilot with the list of prospects that we found and put in that CSV file based off a LinkedIn search. We can send a video message. So there's a tool here which actually produces a video message, which is fantastic. If connected is basically a logical statement saying, yeah, if we are now connected with them after a day, send them a message. So yeah, we send them the thank you for connecting with me. Looking forward to learning more about you and how I might be able to support you. So not pushed out for a question there, but yeah, if you include a question, that's going to help a bit more. And then we've got send email. So we're actually connecting a Gmail account up here. And then we can choose to send a personal email. Hi, first name. Glad we're connected on LinkedIn, just reaching out. So you got the full contact details, and there's a bit more information if they wanted to book a demo. So yeah, that's kind of how I run the follow-up email sequence on a particular campaign that I'm running. We've also got a further follow-up message down here. This one doesn't really get used. Hope the weather's nice. Yeah, it's not really appropriate. I don't know why that one's there, but yeah, just to build a bit of rapport with them. So yeah, so that's how we can really craft out a basic campaign. That one's called Marketing Directors. There we go. So if we go back to this one here, this is a much more complicated campaign with a lot more going to it. But part of Leadeth is understanding kind of how many leads do you need to be getting on a daily basis, how many people do you need to be getting in front of. So we crunch all the numbers and then sit down with you and craft out these sorts of campaigns, which are really going to generate an amazing amount of business. You can see this campaign here. If we're connected with them, we've got 3 follow-up messages. There's a 2-day pause, a 3-day pause, another message. If they still don't respond to any of these steps, they'll get the next step in the sequence. So this one's actually got an email. So we go for an enriched email address. We can go for a personal email address, and then we can enrich their profile using a credit on the system. So if there's actually an enriched address, that's a more kind of deliverable address that we've got using logic and AI. It finds the most appropriate email address for that person. And that's basically it. We're creating a sequence of messages. And then obviously within your message content that we looked at earlier, we can go into that and say, right, we've got custom fields here. So it could be that you've got an icebreaker in custom field 1, because that's how you've imported it and mapped it. And we just push in that icebreaker. So it will spit out the icebreaker in the email. Just to show you it in action, it does work. So if we go back, cancel this campaign. We go inbox. So on a daily basis, you'll be coming into your inbox to see all your inquiries and all your leads. And there we go. So here's 18 hours ago, one from yesterday. Here we go. Hi, Nuno. Thanks for connecting with me. I love that your website is helping to make companies and workplaces more efficient. So impressed with the innovations and solutions you offer. So that's basically AI generated text, not me. Obviously, you can check all this stuff before you send it. So you can go through that spreadsheet that we looked at earlier, and just to make sure, is this good for this person? So you can do a little bit of vetting if you want to, or if you're a little bit risky like me, you might just be happy with what the AI produces and hope it's correct and everything's all good, and then you can just release it on the automation tool. And that guy, thank you, very kind of you. So that stopped the automation, and then I've clicked resume the campaign. You're welcome. Recently started a LinkedIn Masterclass. Would be great if you could join soon. I've not heard anything back, so I need to create some more steps now on the back of that message. So that's how simple it is, and that's how it's working. And obviously, with the tool here, we can now mark them as a lead if they're very keen, or if they're a good fit for what we're doing. And we can import them into a pipeline. So we actually sync the software with HubSpot, but you can use a built-in sales pipeline in the software as well. So yeah, hope you've come to the end really there. We've looked at, quite a few things all around kind of LinkedIn messages. Just as a reminder, I'm going to make the template available to you. I'll drop a link to that Google document so you can have a look at it, copy it, and add to it to create your own set of sequences that are going to work really effectively with prospects. Hope you found this useful. I love to hear your feedback. Next week, let me just have a look what's going on next week in terms of our schedule. Just logging in. So next week, session 4. Come on. Just logging into Trello, where I've got an itinerary of all my masterclasses. I'm pretty sure it's cold email outreach. So workspaces, lead workspaces, masterclass. So session 4, how to effectively follow up with prospects via email. So we're going to look at a few things there. We're going to look at deliverability, tools that are really good and can integrate really well. How to get a list of people together, and how to kind of effectively target those people and set up some automatic follow-up messages. So we'll look at that email side. So cold emailing and is all part of that. Hope you've enjoyed this super short masterclass today. Normally go on a bit longer, but busy day. Thanks very much, and saying goodbye.